Woke culture seeping into the U.S. military? Apparently it is. In addition to their training, they're now being taught what to think about gender, race, and diversity. And apparently some personnel are quite furious about it.
This is not about diversity in general, though. This is about a very specific kind of anti-American indoctrination that is seeping into some parts of our military.
Two Republican lawmakers have gathered statements from military whistleblowers who say that woke politics is now taking over military classes.
One Marine told us that a military history training session was replaced with mandatory training on police brutality, white privilege, and systemic racism. He reported that several officers are now leaving his unit, citing that training. Another service member told us that their unit was required to read White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, which claims, and this is a quote, "White people raised in Western society are conditioned into a white supremacist worldview." One African-American officer disparagingly said, and I quote, "The Navy thinks my only value is as a black woman, and not the fact that she is a highly trained military specialist."
The trend seems to be accelerating.
The military, in the United States at least, is not a standalone system. The United States does not exist for the military. The military exists because of the United States, meaning that it is reflective of American society. We live in a time where the United States, has conflicted segments of society, some who are very conservative, some who are very progressive. And right now, the progressive wing has the majority in Congress, which is very important because the military gets funded by Congress. The civilian leadership has decided that a crisis in American democracy that has manifested itself in violence in the streets is of such a magnitude that we need to retrain the military to be appreciative of this. And that's the training we get. It may not make us a better fighting force, but it is reflective of the reality of civilian control of the military.
It's not just about training. Apparently, if you have the wrong attitude about critical race theory, you might lose your job. A lieutenant colonel in the Space Force got canned after he denounced critical race theory. Now, diversity training might sound like a good idea on paper, but many say that the evidence shows that for the military, it's simply a distraction, causing nothing but more confusion. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.